You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Monday, May 12th. Good morning, Valdez.
I'm Valdez.
And good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. We got a great show lined up for you this week as we're counting down days towards summer vacays and Memorial Weekend, and we're there, right? We got a hot Sunday. It was windy, but, you know, cool weather is starting to come upon us. Barbecues, they be a-blazing.
Happy Mother Effer Monday.
Yeah, Mother Effer Monday. Yes,
it's always after Mother's Day.
Yeah, so my Mother's Day was yesterday, of course. Hopefully you had a good Mother's Day as well. A couple top stories to get into. First and foremost, so it's trending over the weekend, the loss of an icon in the professional wrestling world. R.I.P. Sabu. Sabu, the hardcore professional wrestling icon legend, passed away at the age of 60 years old. Not more than like a month after his last match, which was like a hardcore underground LA match that saw him go face first into a pile full of barbed wire in a barbed wire rope match. I mean, the guy was hardcore all the way to the end. Yes, absolutely. And as far as the cause of death, you know, just burning the candle at both ends. There isn't necessarily a specific cause, whether it's an OD or a heart attack or any of those things just yet. But, you know, like the dude lived fast and dangerously. And if you're a fan of professional wrestling, you're probably a fan of Sabu, because there were some moments in matches where you're just like, there's no way this dude should be walking right now. You know, like there's no way he should be alive after all of these things. There's so many. If you put together like a highlight reel of Sabu's death-defying stunts during his, wrestling career, it would last 3 years straight. 3 years straight, of just him doing crazy bumps, insane, creative ways to hurt and maim himself and others. That was Sabu. That's why the wrestling community comes together when it comes to something like that, right?
It's crazy. I can't believe it, man.
Yeah.
Like that's still pretty young. Think about it. 60?
No, 60 is young. Absolutely is young. Right. So, I mean, when you heard the news, when did you hear the news?
This morning when I was scrolling, I was like, what the hell? I was like, no, maybe not.
Right. So what is your like fondness of Sabu memory? What made you a fan of him?
All his time at ECW.
Right.
The glass, the barbed wire, the fire, just everything. He put it all out there. He didn't want you to leave disappointed.
Yeah. No, yeah, he gave people his money's worth for sure. So of course that happened over the weekend. Also WWE Backlash. So it was a weekend of highs and lows for wrestling fans, but we continue. All right. As we were going into the weekend, I'm just like, all right, Friday comes upon. I was planning on being out and social this weekend, kicking things off with the season end party for the Tucson Roadrunners, right? Which I was stoked for. They were going to do it at the Sands Club from like 3 to 6. I'm like, nice little happy hour. Then go on and that'll fuel my energy going into the rest of the weekend. But then last minute, I get a invitation for a company-wide Zoom on social media, right? And I'm like, well, all right, if there's something you can show me about social media or any kind of new future guidelines on what we should be doing for social media, absolutely. I'm all on board. I want to see the people's faces of all my colleagues that work within this company, because it's not just the people in Tucson, but, there's various radio stations all throughout the West Coast. So, I want to definitely, make friends. Greetings.
As far as, what was it, Iowa or Idaho? Like that's Lotus everywhere.
Yeah, Idaho, Seattle, Fresno, Vegas, Los Angeles, San Diego. It's a growing family business, which I'm proud to be a part of. So, I jump on enthusiastically. I come to the studio. So that way, when I pop on the Zoom, I got the backdrop that you would see during the podcast broadcast, right? And I did that for two reasons. One, to show that I don't F around. Two is if you're going to be talking about like social media and how to properly, create content and content farm and put that out through your social networks, you got to have some level of presentation, and it doesn't cost much to do it because I have zero money, right? Yeah. So it's like we whipped this together on a swap meet budget, if that, right? So fast forward like 3 hours of my entire life with not only, penis measuring going on, gatekeeping going on, egos galore, but nothing of value as far as like any insight whatsoever. It's like doing a Zoom meeting from 2009. Like, oh, you know what I found out? I put a post asking a question for my listeners on Facebook. It was good. One morning show guy goes, yeah, I used to do a podcast, but I want to feed my own ego. It's an ego thing. So you don't need that, and it's like, and he's like, social media, it's overrated. Like this guy's like saying this stuff. And I'm like, yo, bro.
He's like, my MySpace is blowing up, bro.
No, he doesn't even care. Which I'm like, okay, that's fine. But you're established show, right? And you're catering to your audience who's slowly dying out, and that's fine. What about connecting to a new audience, right? Anyways, it was excruciating. And then when it finally got around to my turn to talk, right? Every single person on there, right? They were supposed to talk for 3 to 5 minutes, right? And that was it. And then move on to the next cluster. This thing was scheduled to be an hour. It lasted over 3 hours. It was the Titanic director's cut, right? Yeah, dude. It was stupid on a Friday when you're like just itching to get out. Meanwhile, I'm missing a party that involves free alcohol and food and prizes, like all of it, right? I was going to walk away with, I was going to go there empty handed, walk away with something of value, right? And I'm missing the entire thing. So then when it finally comes around to me, right, where I'm like, I got some insight. I could help you guys out on something. I go into a little spiel. I try to make it quick as possible. And you think there was a single question?
No.
Not a single question. I'm like, I just listened to you guys talk for 20 minutes asking like an elderly woman in Los Angeles from a Persian network, where she shares her like illegal copyrighted material from, right? And like that's like I give you actual insight and show you results and stuff. You don't have a single question on how to accomplish that. I'm out. Right? That was my whole Friday. After that, I was so drained. I was staring at screens for 14 hours for the day. You think I did anything on Friday night? Hell no. I went home. I passed the F out. I slept for 14 hours.
Not even a bong rip and then sleep?
Well, the bong rip, of course, but that goes without saying, dude. So anyways, I just wanted to get that off my chest and shout out, I guess. All right, we got a great show lined up for you today. Listener bait this week, all week long, is going to be tickets for the Diamondbacks game. So we got another pair of tickets for that. And that's, of course, see, the game that we're giving away tickets for this week is going to be the D-backs versus the Rockies. And then that game's going to be on Sunday at 1:10. So we'll be giving away tickets for that, and also Meet the Chefs, because Meet the Chefs is coming up this Sunday. So
that's right.
Yeah, something to look forward to. So be ready for all that and then more. So we got your morning moron coming up after music from Shinedown, kicking things off with a little White Zombie. Phone lines are open if you want to give us a shout. 600 KFMA, 600-5362. Here's Thunder Kiss 65 on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Vegan presents. But you know the name of the show? Tucson. Let's go. All right, we are on the live stream about 45 seconds before we get on the air to do a little tease. We got Chef Fabian in studio from Desert Shark on Grant in Tucson. We're going to be talking pokey. We're talking Meet the Chefs and the whole journey and stuff. If you want to grab those headphones, you can. You can hear some cool music in the background. And yeah, it's not cool music. It's just background music. Good morning, everybody on the stream. It's good to see you. And yes, rest in peace, Sabu. Nessa doubling down on the hard R this morning. And she's on the air. She was like, we were talking about Faker Florida, and we did a game Faker Florida, which I'll play with you real quick as soon as we start playing Wage War, Chef Fabian, just to see if you'd be able to recognize the fake headline here. Nessa was able to do it, and she did it because she called the fake headline the R word. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're live on the podcast broadcast in studio. We are meeting Chef Fabian from Desert Shark, located on Grant and Tucson Boulevard. That is an excellent poke restaurant that's been open for about 5 months now. We're going to go down the rabbit hole with Chef on that and talk up the Meet the Chefs event which you are participating in. Now, Chef Fabian, have you participated in any cooking competitions thus far?
I have not.
Oh, do I have you on the right microphone? Get in there. Oh, did someone switch the microphones on me? All right, say it again. Oh my God, that microphone might be dead, dude.
¿Qué está pasando?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I don't know what that is either. So to add to the confusion, you speak a language I'm not even familiar with. Valdez, help me out here. All right, we're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. We're going to fix that microphone and more. So you can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here because we'll be back after the latest from Wage War. Here's Blur and Rock 1 2.1. Could you hear him?
I could not.
Here, see if it's all plugged in. It's like Scott, bro. Give me a little mic check there. So weird. All right, switch it to the green mic. Yeah.
Test.
Yeah, that
There
one's
we
good.
go.
Yeah. All right, now I got to text our engineer and be like, bro, mic 3 is toast. Don't know what the deal is with that. All right. Anyways, well, so yeah, have you done cooking competition? Yeah or nay?
No.
Okay. So you nervous about this?
First part of it, sure. Just because you're going up against a lot more people and it's not my forte, let's say.
Right.
The next part, I'm not worried at all.
What's the next part?
Next part, like my dish gets selected. Okay, I'm moving on to face the current champion. I'm not afraid of that one.
Right.
That's my wheelhouse. We're good on that.
Okay. So when it's 1-on-1, 1v1, you're ready to go, but
1v1, I'm ready to go. Secret ingredient, that doesn't matter to me. I'm a secret ingredient chef. I don't know what I'm cooking until I'm there. So
yeah.
let's do this.
Okay, nice. So are you type of guy when you go through like your pantry at home and stuff, you're just like, you put together a bunch of stuff, you're like, okay, what can I make from this?
Most definitely a pantry chef. I grew up broke.
Yeah.
It was whatever we had, and like I said, I don't know what the heck I'm cooking until I get in there and see what's in the pantry to begin with. So
nice.
That's what I got to work with. This is what I'm making.
So the biggest nerves then is going into this and trying to have the best dish that's already planned to not only give to the people at the Meet the Chefs event, so they could be able to taste what Desert Shark has to offer, but then also impress the judges.
Exactly. I have way too much time to overthink myself. So. And yeah, I'd rather not overthink myself. So that's why I don't plan. I just do.
Okay. Yeah.
Right
nice.
Now I got about 4 or 5 dishes that I got together and I got narrowed down. And then finally I'll just pick one with throwing a dart and we're doing it.
Okay. So that's a technique. You're going to throw a dart at the board and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing.
Pretty much. They're all going to be good tasting and everything like that.
Okay.
A few of them will just make it onto the menu and then the rest, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, let's see. Well, let's see. I mean, it's interesting too. Well, last year's Iron Chef and the reigning defending Iron Chef champion is a sushi chef, right? So, it's very possible, right, that you could wow the judges, even being in your own wheelhouse. Like, in fact, actually, when Chef Anthony presented his bite of the night, I thought it was the bite of the night. It was delicious, right? But I was like, is this going to work against him because it's sushi in a cooking competition?
Right.
And it didn't. It actually, that was the best dish, and that's how they awarded it. Rock 1 2.1 KF, man. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're here with Chef Fabian from Desert Shark, located on Grant and Tucson. Probably saw it. It used to be Lemon Shark. It's right next to Culinary Dropout right there. Specializing in poke. And is that how you say it? Like,
Okay.
Like, if I went in and I wanted to act like super prestigious or snobby, like I know my poke, because I do love me some poke.
Just I want my sushi in a bowl. Just give me that.
Just give my sushi in a bowl. Don't wrap it. I want it in my mouth. Why are you wasting all this time wrapping it up?
Why do I want that little roll? I want a bowl. Let's do this.
How long have you been in the poke game?
Poke game now, I guess we'll say this is year 4.
Okay, year 4. As an owner or just in the game in general?
In the game in general. First ownership of anything.
Yeah, okay. This is a pretty interesting story, too. You grew up like poor, right? And so what got you into culinary arts in general?
My nana taught me how to cook at a very young age. Said you're not going to be able to depend on a woman to make you anything. You got to depend on yourself. So go ahead. And I started with eggs and went from there.
That's what my mom would tell me.
Oh, no. Was she like, oh, no, mijo, you're too ugly. You need to learn how to cook.
No.
I know.
It was girls are caca.
Girls are caca.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so what was the signature dish she taught you? She's like, this is what's going to keep you happy and fed throughout your adult life.
Probably my guilty pleasure, cheese quesadillas.
That's a go-to. You
mean,
start young. Yeah.
I've worked the restaurant industry for so long. What do you do after you get off work? You don't eat your own food. You go to anything that has a Bertos in the end of it.
Yeah.
And what happens? Cheese quesadillas.
Cheese quesadillas. Yeah, that's go-to. It's tried and true. It can never fail, So, yeah. So she basically said, hey, look, you can't rely on women to cook for you, right? Those days are over. So you got to cook for yourself. That's what started your love for cooking. And then, okay, so you go from, did you start off as like a line cook and everything? Start working restaurants in the backdrop and all that? Or
so my first job was basically a bistro cook.
Okay.
It was just me. I was cooking hamburgers, hot dogs, simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
Went into the restaurant industry. I've pretty much had every title there is except for the distribution side of the business and district manager, stuff like that. So
yeah. And then after working that for how many years? Just working basically the entire heart of the house.
So I basically didn't break into the front of house until later on.
Okay, yeah.
I've gone from restaurants to delis to pizza shops, universities, down all the way to sports bars.
Yeah.
So,
okay, and then how do you make the leap from working the front line? Well, not the front line. I guess that's first responders, but we're working the line, right? And to restaurant ownership.
Never being able to escape management.
Yeah.
I tried. It doesn't work.
Yeah. So you're like, F it. If you can't beat them, join them and just become the boss.
Pretty much. But no, I've always wanted to own a restaurant, and it's just finally opportunity came and I took it.
Nice. That's awesome. And then, so first time business owner too. Do you go through all the grants process and stuff like that?
I wish I did.
Yeah, get some free money and stuff, but that I imagine that would be difficult to do and come by, right?
I don't know. For me, it's one of those things where I've looked it up, but I don't know what's real and what's fake. And
right.
That's the biggest part about it. And I don't want to accidentally put my restaurant info or my info out there and get scammed or something else worse happens. So I never even did any grants or anything like that. That's why I soft opened. Everything's pretty much been organic and trying to get it going as best as possible.
Yeah.
Survive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the name of the game of being a restaurant owner, and in any age seems like today as well. So, going from, well, it's good to see you have the different culinary background where you literally have done everything in the kitchen. And then poke becomes your specialty. Now going in to meet the chefs, can we expect something that would be a signature dish of desert shark without revealing it? Because I know all the chefs have been kind of, keeping it close to the vest is the saying, right? As far as they're not revealing what they're going to be offering the judges and the public this Sunday ahead of time.
I will say that what I make is going to be just like anything else I make.
Bomb.
It's going to be full of flavor.
There you go. Full flavor. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So whatever you make is going to be great. And and you're standing by that, which is good. All right. Well, we're going to go down the rabbit hole with Chef Fabian of Desert Shark. And that's located on Grant in Tucson. Chef Fabian is participating in the Meet the Chefs event. That is happening this Sunday at Desert Diamond Sahuarita. I don't even know if there's any tickets available, but you can go to KFMA.com if you're over the age of 21 and grab up the last few if they are. And we'll see if Chef Fabian has what it takes to go on to the finals to become the next Iron Chef. We're going to check out their social media game and all the delicious food that they post on their Instagram page right now on the podcast broadcast. You can join us youtube.com/PeteVegan or keep it right here because we'll be back after music from Sublime on Rock 102.1. Clear. All right. Which I want to do that. But one thing that's bothering me real quick, I want to get this microphone out of your shot. Yeah. Get that out of the shot. There you go. And then I'll talk to Scott afterwards. Something about a dead mic just pissed me off, Valdez. Just looking at this. Quesadilla. What kind of cheese are you using in quesadillas at home? It's like, let's get serious real quick before I check out your social media.
It's all of them, but no, mostly the Colby Jack and stuff like that.
Wrong answer. You got to go with white cheese. You got to go white cheese on the quesadillas.
It depends.
Yeah.
But see, I've learned Mexican food here is not Mexican food in Phoenix.
That's true. Are you from Phoenix?
I'm from Phoenix originally.
Yeah, me too. So, and then you realize that we've been lied to our entire lives.
I feel weird. It's like tamale.
Uh-huh.
I call it tamale. That's what I grew up. It's tamale. And then all of a sudden you have a tamal festival. It's a tamal.
It's a tamal. I know.
I don't get it, man.
And menudo, I've always been served a tortilla with it.
Yeah.
It's either you get flour or corn.
Yeah.
Here, bread.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I want toast?
Because it's breakfast. It's breakfast food.
No, I want to get a tortilla. I want to slather that thing in butter and roll it up and dip that thing. Let's do this.
That does actually sound good,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I could use that.
Well, I wish you prefer Valdez.
I do both. I'm greedy.
Yeah.
Because it's a bolillo roll with light butter and it's nice and toasted, and then you got the warm, fresh from the comal tortilla.
Okay, but here's the
now that I've been here, I gotta have both just because. Well,
because you grew up with one, and then
Fat kid loves cake. I
Nice.
Yeah, so there are different traditions and stuff that we weren't taught growing up in Phoenix of great Sonoran Mexican food, and down here we realize it's a whole nother game, which is so weird because it's only 2 hours away, and you would think it would be very similar. I mean, hell, I didn't even know about a Sonoran dog until like a year before I moved down here.
Well, see, I knew that one at least.
Yeah.
I even ran a little cart at one point.
You had a cart too? Yeah, when you were doing the cart business and stuff, did you have a location where you could set up, or you were just and did you do it like guerrilla status?
I was right outside of a strip club.
Really? Serving wieners at a strip club?
Of course.
Yeah, that's great. So like you'd have like
Girls
a
gotta
rush
eat,
hour, right? So you would set up, and when was your busiest hour? Right when they closed, or
it was all throughout.
Yeah.
Really?
Girls are always hungry.
Okay, yeah.
Customers are always hungry, and
that's the ideal spot then.
so a nice little side gig.
Yeah. How long did you have that side gig?
Oh, about a year.
Okay.
I bounced there for a couple of years.
Yeah, you
And then-
bounce first, and then you're like, I can make more money slinging food cuts.
I did good both ways.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Valdez used to bounce at a strip club as well.
And there was a hot dog cart outside of that one too, and he would bring in the money, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. So it was here in Tucson?
No, I did that in Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest part or the biggest challenge about having a food cart, right? Is getting a good location. So yeah, essentially you were their kitchen.
If you're in front of a construction site or in front of a strip club or club period, you're fine.
Yeah.
So do you find it's a good advantage for somebody to start at a food cart before they go into a kitchen? Because like
Absolutely
you have
not.
limited time, no?
Nope.
That's a hard no. Yeah. Why?
Money.
Yeah.
One, you got to be able to drive. So if you don't know how to drive like a U-Haul truck, then that's not good.
Right.
Trailers,
Right.
all the different permits and stuff that's required for it. And stuff
No,
like
but I
that.
mean like cooking wise, like cooking from a
Oh.
cart and then transitioning to a kitchen. Does that give you an advantage because you're like just at a cart, you got to go.
I'd rather have a kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have a kitchen.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, a lot of food carts, food trucks, they all have aspirations for brick and mortar anyways,
Yeah.
right? So if they could skip that, I think a lot of them would. I mean, there's very few like Chef Michael Elefante is on the stream and stuff, who has a brick and mortar, but then there's also like, let me get into the food truck.
God,
So
glizzies.
very
Why
few
did
that
you
do
use
both.
that word?
Glizzies is what they call the dogs
Jesus,
this
bro.
year. All right. So either get with the kids or get with the times or become an old man. Speaking of which, let's check out their social media game, Desert Shark. So the majority of all the marketing for Desert Shark has been social media.
Correct.
Aggressively doing that. Do you have someone that's like in charge of it, or is it just like a group effort amongst your employees?
So I have someone that's in charge of it.
Okay, that's good.
I am very social media ignorant.
Yeah. So you had to hire like a girl in her early 20s?
Yeah, we'll say she's in her early 20s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what some of the game that they have. Here's
There's a Poke Bowl named after me. It's for the bros.
And the broettes.
And I even got to name it the Andrew Tourist Tucson Protein Bowl.
The protein bowl?
I would love a protein bowl.
What's the protein bowl?
Broskies, it comes with all my favorite ingredients. It has sushi rice, ahi tuna, and salmon for the win. It also comes with seaweed salad, mango, carrots, a small amount of serrano peppers, and crab salad.
Oh, wow.
And don't forget the furikake seasoning, bruh. Then we got the special sauce And you know I gotta drizzle some eel sows. And you can only get it at Desert Shark, bruh. This Sunday we're launching it, so come stop by. And if you can't, don't worry. It's available all through May, and that's what makes us Tucson.
There you go, Protein Bowl. Who's the kid in the video?
All right, so that's Andrew Tours Tucson.
Okay.
He's a local news anchor for K-Gun 9, I believe it's.
Okay, yeah.
Also does this little social media page and everything like that, and helps us out a lot. I've partnered up with like Jaime's Pizza Kitchen. They use my shark bite sauce for their wings, and it's freaking amazing. Just the love that those two things make together.
You make that in house? Is shark bite
Yes.
sauce teriyaki mixed with some sauce or some spice? Okay, what is shark bite sauce?
That is a secret sauce that is, I'll say it, it's sweet and savory, and it has a kick at the end. It's not a lasting burn, but it will burn.
Okay, nice. And so you collaborated there. You make do you make the seaweed salad in house? What do you make in house there at Desert Shark?
So about 85% of the sauces are made in house, and they're all my recipes.
Nice.
90% of the menu is gluten free.
Nice.
All the excuse me, all of the sauces that the marinades for the poke in general, that is all done in house. Salmon's cut daily in house. All the veggies are cut daily in house.
Nice.
So yeah, a lot of it goes.
Yeah, just so you could taste that freshness.
Oh yes, every day. I started my day today at 3 o'clock in the morning to get everything done, to have that done, and then come here.
Woo! Yeah, and go all night. I mean, how many hours of sleep are you doing a night?
I'm good with at least 3.
Yeah, that's business owner stuff right there, Valdez. It's a tough hustle for sure. Yeah.
So if you make it to the next level, let's say it's one-on-one, what would be an ingredient for you that you would kind of dread? It's hard to work with.
That's hard to work with. I would only say ginger.
Ginger, that's insane though,
Ginger's
because
super simple and easy.
yeah. And you
I'm just
technically
not a
own
fan.
a sushi and a bowl place that ginger is a prominent piece of that, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you put ginger in the building.
I'm just not a fan of ginger unless it's an accent or you can just taste it as an enhancer. Sure.
Yeah.
But raw ginger, how people do that with sushi in general, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
And there's no in between at the restaurant. There's either I want a little bit,
yeah, or all of it.
I want, yeah.
Yeah. This is crazy, right? Is there a right way to order at your place? Because you walk up, it's kind of like Chipotle style, right? In a poke bowl, you pick out what bowl you want, what protein you want with it, and then you get all the fixins, right? Is there like a standard way, like say a Mike's way, you would get a Jersey Mike's?
No.
Okay.
So we have signature bowls. I
Okay.
created those with the exception of the Cali. That's just for people that like sushi but don't really like raw fish.
Okay. Yeah. So that's like basically a California roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I always, for new people, I still just suggest for them to build their own. You already know what you like if you're building your own in general. You know, if you like salmon or tuna or anything like that. And then veggies, everything that is available goes with it. So you're not going to go wrong.
Right.
And all the sauces are made to go with it. So you're not going to go wrong there. With the exception, I don't understand why people put katsu on raw fish. It's just beyond me. But hey, to each their own.
There is a way to do it right and there's a way to do it wrong. Sometimes they're doing it because they don't know they're doing it wrong. You know what I mean?
I mean, you're not doing it wrong if you like it.
Nah, yeah,
And that's the beauty of build your own.
Yeah, yeah.
It's your own.
And then what do they call the spam rolls again? Because I love those things.
Spam masubi?
Yeah, spam masubi. And you serve that year round?
Yes, that's year round, and I just released last month a spicy version of that.
Okay,
And I do have a lot more versions.
Okay, so what makes the spicy version? Just the sauce?
So it's the sauce, the way I cook it, and it also does have some serrano chilies with it.
Oh, I love that, dude. So you're making spam fancy.
My spicy mayo is made in house. It's unlike anyone else's. It has a deeper flavor. I do not use sriracha at all. Most places you go, they're just going to use sriracha.
Right. That's their like hack or shortcut. Yeah.
I don't use sriracha.
I would F up a shark bait right now.
It's pretty good. That tropical mayo was awesome.
This is the shark bait bowl that we're looking at that has the chicken and everything.
Coconut shrimp.
Oh, this is what?
Coconut shrimp.
Oh, nice.
I'm looking at his menu. He has like pictures. I'm like,
Oh, check out the screen, dude. We're showing stuff off. Do you ever try the spam masubi? You ever eat spam stuff there, Valdez?
Yeah. One of my mom's coworkers is from Hawaii, and she made it.
Okay, yeah. So you got to get it from, here. I mean, I might have to try that out because I don't like spam in any other form, with the exception of doing spam musubi. And yours looks phenomenal. So to make that dish, which is a comfort food in Hawaiian culture, like a delicacy looking type of thing where you're just like, oh, I'm fancy today. I'm going to eat some spam. You know what I mean?
Soon I'll make my sister happy. She's been talking about for forever. And I'll finally do a spam bowl.
Oh, spam bowl. Okay.
Yep. I'll finally do
How
it
many
eventually.
pieces of spam will go into a spam bowl, though?
Most likely we're looking about at least 3.
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta
Is that a
make
whole
it-
can?
No.
Okay. How many cans of spam do you order in one kind of shot?
Excuse me. So and
Get like a pallet of spam?
when I get it 32 at a time. So
Okay.
and we go through at least 60 cans a week.
Yeah, I mean, you could order more than that because I don't think it ever goes bad. Right? It's just
There
a
is
can.
nothing in my restaurant that lasts more than 2 days.
Even spam?
Even spam.
Oh, really? Spam only lasts 2 days?
No, I mean we sell through it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And that's great.
Yeah. I'm very, very tight on my ordering, and it's just one of those things where if we're out of it, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you want to keep it fresh, you want to keep it this way, then I'm ordering tight until it demands me to.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and that's I think a lot of this story here is just talking about the first time restaurant ownership and Rock 1 2.1 Kip, man. Welcome back. Beef Vegan presents. That was Avenged Sevenfold with Hail to the King. We are hanging out here with the owner at Desert Shark, who's also the lead chef, and Chef Fabian. How do you say your last name? Moreno. Yeah. That's how it's read. He's the chef and proprietor of a Desert Shark on Grant and Tucson, and we're just checking out his fantastic menu. And we're talking about the spam musubi. How do you say it? Musubi. Okay. I shouldn't second guess myself because I know that this stuff is like, subconsciously ingrained in my brain. It's some of my favorite dishes. And, you specialize in poke, but so much more, right?
I mean, so many people have trouble saying a lot of different things on the menu, and if you can say the first word spam, I already know what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
You want regular, you want spicy. Here we go.
Yeah, if you say spam, I got you, fam. I mean, that should be a
Exactly.
catchmiss of Desert Shark. You could have that one.
That
for
might
free.
be a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That might be a t-shirt.
Yeah. So, because you're talking about even just for your sister who loves the spam musubi so much that she's like, you got to turn this into a bowl.
Oh yeah.
And you're going to do that for her.
Yep. Eventually, it's coming up.
Eventually. Yeah.
Oh, I try to do something new every month. So
Yeah.
Spicy spam masubi's here to stay.
And I see, you know what? The fact that you do like a specialty dish and bowl every month, is a credit to your creativity and your need for creativity. Because as a restaurant owner, you don't necessarily need to do the specials. But as someone who's worked the kitchen for so many years, you want to be creative and kind of roll out new dishes to your audience or your customer base, right?
Right. I want to keep it fresh, keep new things coming. Yes, you might fall in love with it and you're going to hate it when it goes away, but that gives me room to bring it back and say, hey, come on back.
Yeah.
I have so many different things in the pipeline that I just haven't released because I don't want to make the menu too big. The menu's small for a reason, and it's going to keep on going, and you're going to love everything we do.
Yeah, it's almost like the in and out theory, right? You just focus on a few signature items and make them the best.
Yeah, pretty
right?
much. I mean,
It's like, we're going to crank them out and it's going to be amazing.
they're big for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, don't count on Chef Fabian, as a poke bowl chef, but really restaurant owner who's worked in the kitchen his entire adult life and has pretty much made everything. He might be that dark horse that could go on to the Iron Chef competition that's going to be happening later this summer. You can find out for yourself and taste the delicious offerings that Chef Fabian will have to offer this Sunday at the Meet the Chefs event at Desert Diamond Sahuarita. But before that, you can definitely check out Desert Shark. It's right there on Grant and Tucson. What are your operating hours?
11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Every single day?
Every single day.
Every single day. So if you're craving some poke or some spam musubi, or you just want to check out their entire menu, you could do it in two ways. You can either go to their website at desertsharkaz.com, or you could give them a follow on Instagram where they're cranking out a bunch of good interactive food content. And that's Stark Shark Tucson on Instagram. I did a little bit of both. And what was the final menu question that you have for Chef Fabian Valdez? Because I know you've been scoping that menu online.
When I go, what do you recommend I start with?
Yeah, first timer. What do they want?
First timer, build your own.
Build your own, man.
Just give me a bowl of Spam. There you go.
I've had people come in, hey, what do you recommend? I just ask them, sweet, spicy, savory. Let's go.
Yeah. What are you craving? Just one of those flavors, sweet, spicy, or savory, or mixture of both.
Yeah, and they'll just say, hey, you know what? I trust you. And I have done on-spot bowls more than anything else.
That's what I like to do too. You know what I mean? I like to go to not even just chefs, but if you've been working there, like, what would you make yourself? I'll take that, right?
Yeah.
So okay, you're making your bowl, right? This is the Chef Fabian bowl for Chef Fabian. All right. What are you putting in your bowl?
I'm doing traditional Hawaiian ahi. I'm doing spicy salmon. I'm doing shoyu salmon. I'm doing that on crispy wontons and sushi rice.
Doing it on crispy wontons. See that? That's the hack right there,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Yep. I'm doing cilantro. I'm doing onions. I'm doing green onions. I'm doing corn. Debate.
Was there anything that you left off when you're? I see you mentally going down the line because it's almost like a Chipotle like serving, right? Where you go there and you're like, I'll take that. What did you leave off?
Oh, there's a lot.
Okay. So I'm just making sure you're not just getting everything.
No, there's about 32 different options you can do.
Nice.
And then you got your sauces. There's about 15, 20 of those.
Yeah.
And then you got your crispy topping. You got crispy onion, crispy garlic, stuff like that. And like I said, a lot of this stuff is gluten-free. We have a very high volume of people that come in with gluten allergies.
Right.
And just
Most of this town.
Allergies in general. So that's a big thing. I'm able to work around a lot of different diets.
Yeah, nice.
So that's very nice.
Yeah, and Desert Shark, they make most of their sauces in-house as well. So ask about their specialty sauces. And again, that's a good indicator of the skill set that Chef Fabian's going to be bringing in to Meet the Chefs. So check out Desert Shark today or all this week on Tucson and Grant, and then see Chef Fabian in action this Sunday at Desert Diamond Sahuarita. More information on Meet the Chefs is available at kfma.com. We'll give away another pair of tickets for that event tomorrow morning. So you just keep listening. Chef Fabian, thanks for coming in, dude. It's good to meet you, and look forward to see what you have to offer this Sunday at Meet the Chefs.
All right, thank you.
Of course, we're going to hit the reset on the FM side. Be back with more after music from Cracker on Rock 1 2.1. Nice. All right. Excellent job there, Chef. Yeah.
So is there a limit to the build your own bowl, or you can go buck wild?
Oh, so you got a regular, large, and regular is 2 scoops of protein. Large is 3.
Okay.
Get more, it's more.
Yeah.
But other than that, you got 4 different premium toppings, and depending on the size of the bowl, you get 1 or 2 of those, and then it's extra on that part if you want more than that. But all the other toppings, it's as much as you want, up to 3 sauces, and then as much crispy and sprinkles as you want.
Nice.
Do you make your mac salad in house too?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Bento box.
Yes, you do. What?
Bento box.
Oh, bento box. What does
Oh.
bento box mean?
Those are my favorite.
Think of
It's
just
a
a packed
good-
lunch.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Think of a packed
It's
lunch.
an adult lunchable.
Okay. So you sell bento boxes?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Teriyaki chicken katsu.
Mm.
Okay, so this is
Coconut
good
shrimp.
for people meal prepping and stuff?
It could be.
Or are just eating? Yeah. And these chicken wings, of course, you don't sell those in house because it's a
No,
collaboration.
that was a collaboration.
Yeah. Nice. When did you get your haircut, dude? Did you used to have a long ponytail? Are you a ponytail guy?
Not ponytail. I did braids for a while.
Okay. But it's super long. So did you just recently shave it all off? Because that's a major life decision, right?
Oh, no.
How long was your hair?
I'd say about to my shoulder at one point.
Okay, yeah.
My hair grows extremely fast, so
You're lucky.
it takes about a year and it gets about that length.
All right, nice. So this is the pizza spot that your wings are at.
Yes.
Okay, nice. What's the name of that pizza spot again?
I Miss Pizza Kitchen.
Oh yeah, nice. And then what's this? Watch as we surprise our guests with a Gem Show themed Pokeball. Okay, so that was just a one-time thing, a little pineapple bowl.
I actually did it a couple times. We made a secret menu item at one point. Someone asked for it like that, and I did about 4 or 5 of them.
Was that something that would be too much of a pain in the ass to put it on the menu for the entire month?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Just because it just requires a lot. I mean, we go through a lot of pineapple, but not that much if it actually took off.
Right. Yeah, you would have an overabundance of chunks for sure.
Can I get that pineapple bowl, but just filled with like coconut shrimp?
Yeah, for like $72.
It'd be expensive, but you could do it.
That upcharge will get you. These are cool little shrimp tacos in a way.
Yep, I made those. That was the first special appetizer thing I've created. Southwest shrimp poke tacos.
Nice. So this is what you're offering at Meet the Chefs?
Nope.
I tried.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I could, and it'd probably be a hit.
Yeah.
you gotta shoot your shot, man.
Well, you also want to keep it simple for the size of
Exactly.
everything. But I will say this, and not every chef knows this, and it really depends on how you want to approach it. But the offering that you give to the judges doesn't have to necessarily be the offering that you give to the public.
Correct. They said bite size, so
Yeah.
on that one, I plan on anything I do make, I'm gonna make it to where I can fit in those little nice 2 ounces of flake cups.
Yeah.
It's bite size. You can just take it like a shooter.
We like
whatever I
big
make.
bites, though. I mean, look at us. Our,
Yeah,
our
I mean,
bites are size
yeah.
of 6 ounces.
That's great, but for 600 people,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We'll snack.
I mean, can you make
Put a couple
custom bites
aside.
for
my
us?
wallet.
He can Monday through
We
Friday
can.
from fucking 10 a.m. to 9, dude. So
I mean, you come in before Sunday and you let me know. I mean, you might get a sneak peek at one of the dishes I might throw out there.
I'm gonna have to take you up on that. Your spot is on my way home, dude. Yeah, so that looks great, dude. Well, congratulations on your success so far. I wish you nothing but continued success going into this event, and of course with the success of Desert Shark. I love it, dude. I can't wait to see some of the stuff inside, and I'll pick up some of that spam musubi here pretty soon. So I promise that.
All right. Well,
Excellent. Well, Chef Fabian, everybody. Earlier this morning, we did our morning one. In case you missed it, well, something like this. Check it out. Dance of Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. It's now 6:17 and time for your morning one. Let's do this. Today's morning one, nerd fight. In a way, it's nerd assault, but still assault nonetheless. A 25-year-old man in Nebraska named Aiden White has been arrested after he attacked his 37-year-old female neighbor and her 7-year-old daughter with a Star Wars lightsaber. Oh, yes. I wonder how quality this was. Was it one of those, like, $300 ones that are like glass and they light up well, or was it one of the freebies you get going to like a sporting event, or who knows? You know what? Judging off his mugshot, it was probably like $1,000 lightsaber, and he was hoping to cut him in half and was disappointed when he found out that it didn't work like that.
Would you take that attack serious if somebody was hitting you and it was making the noises?
Yeah, anyone that hits me with the stick, I take seriously. And I know I'm just going to grab that thing with my bare hands, and they're going to think I'm a Sith Lord, and then I'm going to beat the hell out of them with it. He first struck the girl when she was out playing with her friends, so her mom confronted Aiden, and he hit her in the arm and shoulder with the lightsaber. And no word if he made a sound effect with his mouth while doing so, but assuming he probably did. Right? Both the mother and the daughter say that he hit him hard enough that it was painful, but not hard enough to leave a mark or anything like that. It was hard enough to be painful. That's a good description. Now, police were called. Aiden admitted to the attack. He doubled down, and he told the cops that he did it because he was upset with the victims because his rent was going to be raised, supposedly because the victims kept a shared thermostat too high. Right? I get it. When it comes to thermostats, those are usually one of the most justifiable fights, especially in the summertime. But this is Nebraska. It can't get that high.
Can you imagine?
Come to Arizona. Yeah. So he was charged with 2 felonies, child abuse and second-degree assault. So this Jedi messed around and found out the hard way. And we'll see if, the Force will be with him in jail. But this is a picture of young Aiden. Smiling, not really understanding the repercussions that he's dealing with,
He's like, feel the wrath of my lightsaber, choo-choo.
Exactly, dude. That's the thing. You're a felon because of a lightsaber, dude. That is no bragging
Is he
right.
wearing the garb?
I think he is.
Oh,
he
my
probably
God,
did.
This friggin' guy. They're going to beat his ass in jail.
Yeah, dude. I know. He dressed up before he went on. When he had this reminded me when I was like 8 years old and I was going to get into a fight in a neighborhood. Right. And so to amp me up, I went into my room and grabbed my Hulk Hogan shirt. Right. The yellow shirt that he would tear off each and every day.
Were you going to make Hulkamania run wild, bro?
Yeah, dude. So then I put on the shirt, and in my head, I'm like, dun, 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 and I'm singing the song over, and I meet up with my neighborhood bully, and I'm like, you're going to get it now.
You were in the mode, man.
Yeah, man. He
Hell
whooped my
yeah.
ass so quick and so hard. I was just like, Hulkamania, where are you? So,
You
but
didn't take your vitamins or say your prayers.
no, I was saying my prayers after the fact. But my point is, this was a lesson I learned at 8 years old. And poor Aiden here, poor Aiden had to learn it at 25. And hopefully it's a lesson that he learned. And for that, I'm going to have to call him today's morning moron, brother.
Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward.
It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupider.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600-KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, it's time for another edition of Your F My Life. These are unfortunate situations. Email to me at beefvegan@kfma.com. Subject line FML. But of course, if you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, you can give us a call right now at 600-KFMA. That's 600-5362. And if Valdez and I agree your life is effed, we'll look up with a pair of tickets for the Meet the Chefs event happening this Sunday at the Desert Diamond Sayurita. There's going to be plenty of chefs all competing to be the next Iron Chef. And it's a foodie free-for-all for everyone who's in attendance, but you got to be 21 years of age or older to attend. Are you ready for the first email, Valdez?
Yes.
All right, this one was sent to me by Steven. Steven said, I once went on a date with a girl that I liked, and I took her to a skating rink. On the ride home, she put her arm around me, and her armpits stank, and I smelt like them for the whole hour-and-a-half drive.
Ah, this poor guy.
Well, this poor girl, she didn't realize her armpits stank that much. So F My Life, Valdez?
Yeah, that's an effort. She skunked you, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
She put her apeste on him, and then he had to just marinate in her juices.
I know. You know what? I am solely convinced that we are attracted to somebody else based off their scent and not necessarily their artificial scent, like what the deodorant scent will be, with the pheromone scent, right? And then, that just wasn't your person. You didn't want stank onions, Steven.
Yeah, that's weird when that happens.
Yeah. Some people love stank onions. All right, next email sent to me by Isabel. She said, my boyfriend of 2 years accidentally admitted to me that he settled for me because he doesn't think he could do any better. Oh,
ouch, man.
Yeah, dude, you're not supposed to say the quiet part out loud. F My Life, what do you say, Valdez?
Yeah, poor girl. That's an effort, man. I feel for you.
Yeah, dude, you should come back and be like, I settled for you, but I know I could do better. Babooski. All right, so keep those emails coming, beefvegan@kfma.com. This next one sent to me by Heather. Heather wrote, I wanted to take a bubble bath this weekend with the jets in the bath that I haven't used in years. When I got in, it took a while to realize that the jets had squirted out a slime and a family of unidentifiable bugs that had probably been living there for years.
Holy hell, bro.
Was you freaked F out in this moment?
Well, yeah, and then that makes me wonder, like, how often do you wash your tub, bro?
Well, that's the thing. She hasn't used those jets in years.
Yeah, but still, you scrubby.
Yeah, you scrub the outside of it, and I'm sure it looked clean, but you don't really clean the inside of it, right?
That sounds like a horror movie. I hate it.
Yeah. So you're saying F My Life?
Oh, yeah, big effort.
100% agree. All right, next one sent to me by Les. She said, I attempted to conquer my fear of eating out this weekend. The very first thing I saw as soon as I got to the restaurant, an unconscious guy getting taken away by paramedics. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back. Beef Vegan Presents. Valdez and I here are live on the podcast broadcast. Time to see what Valdez found on the interweb today. What's our first story, Valdez?
Do you like swimming? You like diving?
I do like swimming. I do not dive. I always end up belly flopping. Why do you ask?
Oh, that's kind of like a form of diving.
No,
it's flat.
It's a disformed dive. When I attempt to dive and create no splash, but then end up making the entire front side of my body red and massive splash, that's a fail. But a 0.0 from the judges. But why do you ask?
Oh, man, in Seattle. Sorry, let me get my S together. In Seattle, there was a guy in a high-speed pursuit with police. He bailed from the car, ran to a bridge, and just dove.
Okay, well, then, you know what? That's actually a pretty good strategy to get away from police, depending on, how the flow of the river is. Did he escape?
I can see why he wanted to escape, because his whole shenanigans caused like a 3-car collision and so much damage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was going to jail for sure.
Oh, definitely. But, they had to fish him out because where he dove, there was no water.
Oh no.
and he is not with us anymore.
Oh no. Why are you laughing so much about a guy who died story? No, I can't imagine.
He's like, yay, freedom. And it's like, oh, crap.
Well, and technically he's free. They didn't catch him.
So lesson for every, not all bridges have water.
Okay, yeah, that is a good lesson to learn today. Not all bridges have water. All right, so that's a T-shirt. All right, what else did you find on the internet today?
So in Wales, Wales is a part of the UK.
Mm-hmm.
There was a council that was trying to put together a presentation for a sex ed to teach the kids. And
Okay.
they're running it by another council first. And I guess they're trying to be progressive because one of the slides that caused controversy was it's never okay to start choking somebody without asking them first.
Well, I mean, that's real. It's so weird too, though, because as much as you're like, yes, you absolutely need consent. You need consent before you even start getting into the act, because asking for consent during the act would make it super awkward. So imagine you're getting intimate and then be like, you're asking for consent to choke you right now. It's like kind of a mood killer, right? So you really got to get into what things you like and dislike before you go on to that next level.
I feel that's way too advanced. That'd be like sex ed for like college. Like, hey, never okay to start choking without consent.
Well,
like,
this was elementary school?
This is like middle school, high school.
Oh no, in sex ed? Yeah.
So like the other committee's like, no way, man. You gotta like take that out. And the original committee's like, what? Like it's part of sex ed. Like they're like, no, bro.
I want to meet the original committee because they sound like some freaks, dude. You know what I mean? That's fantastic. Anything else going on in the interwebs?
I got a kind of a Toxico story.
Real quick.
So in South Jersey, yeah, you're a Jersey guy.
Yeah, kind of.
One of the candidates for, I forgot what political office she's running for, but she makes her money to fund her campaign by selling photos of her feet on her OnlyFans.
You know what, though? I mean, Mari went down this route as far as, encouraging her sister to do the same thing, but it's a very difficult racket, right? So how much money is she really even making?
She's making a good amount because then she also talks dirty. And,
there it is.
She sells her socks and all that.
Right. It starts off with, it's not as easy as just posting feet pics. You have to do a lot of dirty stuff to accompany that. The feet part is just the introduction. Did you see a picture of her feet?
Not of her feet, but of her. She's a pretty lady.
Okay.
And she, quote, said, after being a good girl for so long,
ooh,
I'm in my slutty era.
Oh, good era.
Flirting is my superpower.
Yes, it is. Yes,
so there you go, man.
All right. She just gained herself a new subscriber.
And she's from Jersey. There
you go. That's Valdez says we're going to try to get a picture of those feet to see what we're working with here. Be back with your beef tip right after these words. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah, see if you can find them feet ASAP. Or is it difficult to find them feet because you got to pay for that?
I think you got to pay for it, so that's why.
Show me a toe.
But let me share the screen so you can see that she's actually a pretty lady.
Okay, yeah, share that screen.
Share that screen, son.
Share that screen. Permission to choke you. What? I'm teaching junior high kids this. It's like, what the hell? All right. Yeah.
Yeah. For a politician, she's pretty.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, she got a pretty face. Yeah, but I'm like, how much money are you making? And what is your superpower? And there's got to be some extra hardcore stuff in there. Let's see. Lynn says, my friend got $200 for her feet pics. Not gonna lie, I considered it. Well, I guess you gotta stick it out. I mean, there's a whole like foot marketing technique you gotta do, and it's interesting stuff. Would you sell there's a body part of yours that you would sell pictures of on the internet?
I don't think there's a body part of mine that anyone wants pictures of.
You know what though? But what is it? Rule 22 or what? Weirdo knows the rule number as far as if there's something like there's a fetish for everything. Basically, the internet has it covered. So as much as Darlene said, like get my feet done this week, and then Todd's like, suddenly Beef is an expert on feet marketing. I've been an expert on feet marketing, Todd, and I think you should know this at this point. I got my PhD in feet marketing, and like I said, Mari strongly considered not only doing this for herself, but really encouraged her sister to get into it. And her sister has fantastic feet. Mari's sister is gorgeous, as you could assume. And so you're like, okay, yeah, I see a market for that, but really they weren't willing to put in the footwork. Oh,
Jesus.
no, but I mean, it is a lot of work. It's not just as easy as like magically just posting some pictures online and be like, come on, creeps, who wants these socks for $20? I wore them. It's not that easy. I wish it was that easy. Not that I have good feet.
I mean, if they're willing to pay for it, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a business for everything.
There is. All right. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how this is interesting. Have you seen the movie This is interesting. Have you seen the movie Minority Report?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, in that movie, basically, it's a story about how the government has the ability to arrest people based off future crimes. Okay, so basically, they have psychics who are looking at,
Oh, that's what that movie's called? Yeah, I've watched that.
Yeah. It was predicted by precogs who were able to see murders before they happened. Well, now, through the use of AI algorithms, the same path is being explored in the UK. Reports say the new program is looking into the logistics behind using technology to preemptively identify who might commit murder. So murder prediction algorithms might be a thing of the future, something that the UK is currently investigating. This is kind of terrifying in a way. And honestly, I think a lot of our girlfriends might get arrested for murder based off the amount of murder docs that they watch and probably Google, right?
Oh, talk about toxicos.
Yeah. So is this something that you'd be a fan of or strongly opposed to?
I'm on the fence. I mean, because what if they predict wrong and then some innocent person's like, I'm not a murderer, I swear, man.
That's the argument, right? Convicting people of crimes they have yet committed, no matter even if there are like signs that they might do this based off their algorithm. Who knows?
Because, I mean, as a kid, my mom was going to murder me multiple times. So, I mean, she would have been in prison if they would have implemented that.
Right. And she still hasn't even murdered him to this day. No, she's letting cholesterol do it in the long run.
There you go. Alcohol and beef, baby.
All right, there you go. Yeah, that's a real story. And I recorded it too, so. And I spelled algorithm wrong. Oh my God, we talk about algorithms every day. Spell it for me, dummy.
Algorithm.
Algorithm, yes. Absolutely. All right, we got 6 seconds here. Going to wrap things up with the beef tip. Appreciate you always. Even Todd. All right, here we go. All right, we're almost out of here, Valdez. It's a good show. Good Monday. Tomorrow, was it Rico, Mari, and be in studio. We're going to continue to give away tickets for Meet the Chef and also the Diamondbacks. But what we didn't give away today, that we are giving away all week, is tickets for Mammoth WVH.
Oh.
Yeah, Wolfgang Van Halen. He's performing up at Marquee Theater in December. So, I mean, this show is going to be a ways away, to say the very least. But, I think tickets go on sale this Friday. And so we got to win them before you buy them all week long.
He has climbed up the ladder fast.
He's doing great. Well, I mean, he kind of was born with that kind of a leg up, but his talent is something that he developed on his own, and he's putting together great music. So, yeah, Wolfie, a nice guy and a fantastic artist. And as far as his stock, his popularity continues to go through the roof. So you can see him at that sold out Marquee show, because that show is going to sell out.
Oh, yeah.
In December. But you'll win those tickets here just by listening to the show each and every day this week. In fact, actually, I'll give away a pair of tickets right now to caller number 69.
Yeah.
That's right. First pair of tickets going to caller number 69. We'll leave you with the beef tip. This shouldn't be a surprise to most, and I know it's not a surprise to Valdez, but studies have shown that people who drink alcohol before eating experience a higher appetite and better tasting food. You don't say. These studies suggest that people can actually feel rewarded when eating high-fat foods after drinking alcohol.
Huh.
You don't say. Right?
I have to try that.
You should try that. Have you not tried that?
I'm going to add that to the repertoire.
All right. So, yes, if you want your food to taste better, drink a little bit beforehand. Simple as that. But be careful and try to resist eating all of the food, because it can lead to overeating. And that's your beef tip of the day. Thank you so much for listening. Robin Nash is up next. But caller number 69 right now, you guys are going to get those Mammoth WVH tickets for the Marquee Theater in December. So 600 KFMA. Call now and good luck. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be back tomorrow morning bright and early. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local. Later.
When you
don't say.
Upon a side of beef,
alcohol, you say.
Come and end to all your grief. But if you
didn't hear any bragging about your feed marketing on
I will
Zoom,
knock out all your
they wouldn't, because they didn't listen to me at all. He wanted the last word. I didn't end the stream yet, though.